2 years after I broke up with Kyle, a photo of us suddenly went viral. In the picture, he's sneaking a glance at my stepsister out of the corner of his eye. And I'm looking at his older brother out of the corner of my eye. In the middle of the night, Kyle called, his voice seething. "The person you like is my brother?" It was the middle of the night when the phone woke me. I forced my heavy eyes open. The screen lit up with 2 words, Kyle Evans. After the SATs, we went our separate ways, slowly lost touch, and just sort of mutually ghosted each other into a breakup. I had no idea what his problem was, calling this late. Thankfully, my 3 roommates were all home for the weekend. I answered. After a few seconds of silence, Kyle's voice came through, tight with anger. "You like my brother?" That woke me right up. I sat up in bed, confused. "How did you know?" "Just look online." He was furious. "Lucy, when did you start liking my brother?" "You were cheating on me." I opened up TikTok, and I didn't even have to search. The algorithm served it right up. The photo must have been from the summer after sophomore year, when I was at a charity concert in some historic lakeside town. Kyle had come to see me with Stacy and his brother, Liam. I had just finished my performance. I'd packed up my cello and was still in my t-shirt from the event. The scenery there was beautiful, long, cobblestone alleyways that felt like they were straight out of a storybook. Stacy and I were in the front, Kyle was behind me, and Liam was behind Stacy. The second the shutter clicked, all of us were instinctively looking at the person we secretly liked. In the photo, Kyle is sneaking a look at Stacy. And I'm sneaking a look back at Liam. It was one of the few photos we have all together. The comments section was blowing up. "Can someone please explain what's happening? Why is one photo going so viral? A bunch of you." The pic was originally posted on another platform. Commenters pointed out that the 2 on the left were supposedly a couple, but they're both unconsciously looking at other people. This isn't just drama, it's a full-on dumpster fire. Whoa, they're playing on expert mode, huh? So, he loves her, and she loves him, what about the other him and her? Are you asking me? Bro, I'm just here for the comments. Lucy, are you even listening to me? I laughed. Kyle, why are you playing dumb? The only reason you got with me was to get closer to Stacy. You were the one who asked me out. If anyone's shameless here, it's you. You have no right to accuse me of cheating. Get over yourself. My outburst clearly stunned him. Back then, I was always the quiet, gentle girl who never raised her voice. You, how could you? I can't believe this. Calling me in the middle of the night to yell at me? Have you lost your mind? Piss off. I hung up and blocked his number. After letting all my anger out, the worry set in. I stared at my phone. I'd just started making a little progress with Liam. Would he stop talking to me now because of this picture? I buried my face in my hands and tossed and turned in bed. Stacy is seriously my nemesis. Why post this now, of all times, after so long? Back when we were applying to colleges, I secretly peeked at Stacy's application list. She'd applied to a bunch of schools near Northwood U. But they were all reach schools for her. Her safety was Bayside University. Based on her scores, unless she got incredibly lucky, Stacy was probably heading to Bayside. Around that time, Kyle kept trying to subtly ask me where Stacy was applying. So I pretended to casually ask him where Liam was applying. I accidentally let Stacy's plans slip, and he casually told me his brother's. He got his wish and went to Bayside with Stacy, his crush of many years. Meanwhile, Liam and I both ended up at Northwood U. I thought he and Stacy would get together right away, but they didn't. I typed and deleted a message to Liam over and over before finally just turning my screen off. Whatever. Better to just play dumb. If he brought it up, I'd just act shocked. If he didn't, I'd pretend I never saw it. A few days later, on the way back to the dorms after class, we passed the basketball courts. I spotted Liam from a distance. His department was playing against the School of Engineering this afternoon. I had planned on going. But now, I figured it was best to avoid him for a bit. I sighed and said goodbye to my roommates, who went off to watch the cute guys play. I went back to the dorm to wallow in self-pity. Lying in bed, sighing for the millionth time, I thought about how some decisions can make you feel a lifetime of regret. I'd had a crush on Liam ever since the first day of freshman year, when he gave a speech on stage at the opening assembly. Back then, he seemed completely out of my league. I had barely scraped my way into our high school. He was top of his class, student body president, a talented dancer and pianist, and had a great personality. The only person at school whose name was ever mentioned in the same breath as his was my stepsister, Stacy. She's only a few months older than me. To everyone else, she was the perfect, straight a good girl. To me, she was a master of being two-faced. One second, when adults were around, she was humble and polite. The next, when it was just us, she'd immediately put on an arrogant, fake persona. The turning point came in our sophomore year, when Kyle confessed to me. "Lucy, I like you. Go out with me." I was so confused. I'd seen his name on one of the many love letters Stacy had thrown in the trash. Just then, his phone rang. He answered it. I could hear Liam's lazy voice on the other end. "Where are you? Mom wants you home for dinner." Yeah, I know." I wanted to hear more of his voice, but Kyle just gave a quick reply and hung up. I was a little disappointed, but then I saw a silver lining. If dating him meant I'd get to see Liam more, then maybe this was a good idea. After all, it wasn't like Kyle's intentions were pure either. And just as I'd hoped, I started seeing Liam a lot more often after that. One time, I was at dance practice. I had decided to apply to a performing arts program. Luckily, I had casually studied dance before, so I wasn't too far behind. By the time I took a break, the sun had already set. I sat on the floor, breathing heavily, and took a swig of water. I picked up my phone and saw a bunch of texts from Liam. I quickly put my water down and replied, "Sorry, I was in dance practice and didn't see your messages." I bit my lip and told a little white lie, just like I always did. "I'll look around for him near my studio and let you know if I see him." A second later, just as I predicted, Liam replied, "Send me your location. I'll come help you look." I smiled slyly and sent him my location. I put my water bottle in my bag and wiped the sweat from my brow. I looked at my reflection in the mirror. My hair was in tight braids, and my cheeks were flushed from the workout. I happily changed out of my dance clothes and into a white dress. When I went downstairs, Liam was already there. I was a little surprised. The cool white light shone on him, making his skin look even paler. He was wearing a white t-shirt that day. I suppressed my excitement and walked over to him. "Sorry to bother you with this again," he said apologetically. I quickly waved my hands. No, it's fine." We checked the pool hall and a nearby gaming lounge, but there was no sign of Kyle. Liam glanced down at his phone, then looked up at me. "Are you hungry?" "Huh?" I bit my lip. "A little." "Are we still going to look for him?" He turned his head and looked ahead. He was tall, so from my angle, all I could see was his sharp, handsome jawline. Liam and Kyle were fraternal twins and didn't look alike. Liam had a delicate, almost ethereal kind of beauty, especially his full lips and perfect Cupid's bow. Every time he spoke, I couldn't help but stare at his mouth. "Let's not. My mom said he just got home." He looked down, his voice soft. "What do you want to eat?" The thought of having dinner with him made me so happy. But I'd been eating nothing but salads lately just to keep my weight in check. If I gained any weight, I'd get yelled at. I made a pained face. "I can't eat carbs. I'll get fat." "What about something healthy, then?" I nodded eagerly. Yeah. I know a pretty decent place." I was just drifting off to sleep when my phone rang, jolting me awake. I grabbed it and saw Liam's name. I shot up in bed and hesitantly answered. As soon as I picked up, I could hear his slightly breathless voice over the cheers from a basketball court. Is your cold any better? 1 second I was lost in the sound of his lovely voice. The next, his words registered. A giant question mark appeared over my head. I was sick. Since when? When I didn't say anything, he continued, your roommate said you caught a chill last night and have a slight fever today. Have you eaten? There was some rustling on his end. His words reminded me of what my roommate had said with a wink earlier. If he asks about you, don't worry, girl. I got you. Okay, I guess being sick was the only good excuse. I stammered, I've eaten. You're sure? Yeah. Liam was quiet for a moment. I'm right by the cafeteria. Can I bring you some noodle soup? He must have been holding the phone close, because I could hear every breath. I touched my warm cheeks. Okay, thanks. Is your game over? I glanced at the clock. It was only 6. There was no way the game was finished already. It was noisy on his end. Not yet. I had to leave early for something. Oh. Liam tutored off campus, so I assumed that's what he meant. You should get some more rest. Okay. After tossing and turning for a bit, my phone rang again. Thinking it was Liam, I answered without looking. A man's roar blasted through the speaker. Lucy, you actually blocked me. You were just using me. You used me to get to my brother, and you. He seemed to choke on his own anger, because the rest of the sentence died out. I scratched my head, having no idea what Kyle was on about. Wait, what are you so mad about? Shouldn't you be chasing after Stacy right now? Who says I'm chasing Stacy? I asked, don't you like Stacy? Wasn't that the whole reason you got with me in the first place? He went completely silent, like a plant hit by frost. So you never liked me from the very beginning, did you, Lucy? Kyle's voice was low, losing its usual flippant tone. I could almost hear a hint of hurt in it. The thought surprised me. I didn't know how to respond, so I just said, you're so mad, don't tell me you actually fell for me? Kyle and Liam were polar opposites. Liam was as chill as a capybara, while Kyle had a fuse the length of a matchstick. And right now, it felt like I just lit it. He exploded. How could I possibly like you? Don't be so full of yourself. You want me to like you? Maybe in your next life. No, not even then. I held the phone away from my ear, speechless. Then just leave me alone, I said flatly. I hung up and blocked the new number, too. A little while later, there was a knock on my dorm room door. I climbed down to open it. The RA was standing there, smiling as she handed me a bag. A young man asked me to bring this up for you. Feeling any better? I quickly took it. Much better, thank you, ma'am. I set the food on my desk just as a text from Liam popped up. Take the medicine after you eat and get some sleep. If you still don't feel well, text me, and I'll take you to the clinic. My fingers tapped on the screen. Okay, thanks. Have you eaten? Liam, yeah, I've eaten. Rest well. After I hung up on him, Kyle stared at his lit-up phone screen, refusing to give up. He tried calling again. Blocked. A guy walked over. You done, Kyle? Kyle glanced at him, running a hand through his hair in frustration before giving the phone back. Then he walked off to the side and tried calling Liam, but the phone just rang and rang with no answer. Kyle frowned. What's he doing? Lucy had been so impatient with him just now. Could she be on a date with his brother? A nameless frustration tightened in his chest, an anger with no clear source. At that thought, he borrowed another person's phone to call Lucy again. Hello? This time, Lucy answered quickly. She must have been on her phone. Kyle pursed his lips, not saying anything. His school was having a charity fair, and it was noisy all around him. Then Lucy said, Kyle, is that you? Idiot Kyle? He couldn't help it, he flew off the handle again. Lucy. Before he could finish, she hung up on him again. He grit his teeth, took a deep breath, and called back. Great. Blocked again. He gave up and returned the phone. Walking back, he saw a few girls holding some stuffed animals. How much are these? When the guys saw Kyle return, they all pointed at him. Ask him, ask him. They're all his. Kyle was tall, with a kind of roguish, handsome look. One of the girls blushed and asked quietly, Hi, I heard these toys are yours. How much are they? Kyle looked down at the knitted dolls the girls were holding. They were cute and cuddly. Lucy loved stuffed animals. He never understood why she was so obsessed with them. She didn't just buy them, she made them herself. She'd made tons. His mind drifted back to the time Lucy gave him the little clownfish doll. She had come to his classroom with 2 gift boxes. She smiled brightly as she handed him the yellow box, then held out a blue one as well. He'd been happy and expectant. 2 gifts. Hearing that, Lucy pursed her lips, hesitating for a moment before saying, No, that one's for your brother. His face fell instantly. His first thought was why his girlfriend had to get his brother a birthday present, too. He'd scowled and walked back into the classroom. He did give the gift to his brother, but he never knew what was inside. For 3 years, she got a gift for his brother, too. At first, he thought she was just trying to get on Liam's good side, to be friendly. But over time, it started to bother him, and even now, he couldn't quite understand why. When he snapped back to reality, he heard himself say, These aren't for sale anymore. Recently, Liam went to Bayside for a tournament. As luck would have it, one of my roommates knew someone on their team. They all went out for street food, and in a group photo, I saw Stacy standing next to Liam. The guys were in their black and white team jerseys. Liam looked tall, thin, and coolly at the camera. The girl had tight curls, her head tilted slightly toward him, her eyes sparkling for the camera. When my roommate showed me the picture, she even asked me who the girl was. Then she answered her own question, saying I probably wouldn't know her, since Stacy's jersey wasn't from our school. I opened my phone. Stacy had updated her Instagram story. The caption on the picture read, Ran into an old classmate. Now we're rivals. I blinked slowly, sighed in defeat, and hugged a stuffed animal. Maybe he was only nice to me because I was Kyle's ex-girlfriend. Our university was putting on a music festival, and the club my roommate was in needed a cellist, so she roped me in. One day, as I was leaving the practice room, my roommate left to meet her boyfriend. Chase, another member, ran after me. Lucy, can I call you that? I adjusted the strap on my cello case and said softly, You should probably just call me Lucy. All right, Lucy. Where are you heading for dinner? Back to my dorm. You're not eating? He asked. Let me help you with that. It looks heavy. I shifted away slightly. No, thanks, I'm good. Lucy, do you not like me or something? His voice was a little downcast, and he looked at me with puppy dog eyes. Chase was a music major, a mixed-race guy with medium-length hair. I gave him a polite smile. I don't dislike you. No, he opened his squinted eyes, smiling helplessly. You're really immune to my charms, aren't you? So oblivious. Seriously, I'm a pretty good-looking guy, right? But you won't even give me a second glance. You never look me straight in the eye. Hearing him spout such nonsense, I frowned and shot back, glancing at him from the side, I do not. He pointed at me. You're doing it right now. I was about to argue when someone called my name. Lucy. Fall had arrived in Northwood, and Liam was wearing a black windbreaker, zipped up to his chin. I stopped and stared at him. It felt like I hadn't seen him in forever. He walked over, his eyes flicking to Chase before he spoke, his lips tight. Where are you two going? To get dinner, of course, Chase cut in. I shot Chase an annoyed look. Just as I was about to explain, Liam forced a smile and said to me, "Well, I'll get going then." The autumn air in Northwood felt especially bleak. Watching Liam walk away, I couldn't help but think of that group photo. Was he trying to keep his distance from me? Once Liam was far enough away, I grit my teeth and started walking faster. Chase, with his long legs, easily kept pace beside me. "Hey, you like him, don't you?" "None of your business." "Hey, look at that. Your true colors are showing." Chase gestured dramatically. "But he doesn't seem to like you back." That comment hit a nerve. I stopped, glared at him, my anger boiling over, and snapped, "Are you out of your mind?" My outburst left him stunned. I turned and walked away without looking back. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? Chase stood there, trying to figure it out. Back in my dorm, thinking about Liam's cold attitude, my eyes started to sting. I'm done liking Liam Evans. For the next few weeks, Chase was like a ghost, popping up in the most unexpected places. Meanwhile, Liam seemed to have vanished from my life. Northwood's campus was huge, and with different majors and class schedules, our paths rarely crossed. One evening, after getting off my part-time job, I was suddenly craving barbecue. I headed to the south side of campus, but every restaurant was packed. I was so hungry my stomach was touching my spine. I sighed internally. No barbecue for me today. Just as I turned to leave, someone behind me called out, "Liam, isn't that Lucy?" "Lucy." A guy called out to me. It was one of Liam's roommates. He came out of the restaurant. "Lucy, you here for barbecue? We've got a spot. Come on, join us." Liam didn't look over. He was busy mixing dipping sauces. I looked away and smiled. "No, thanks. I'm on a diet." "Huh? Really?" he said. "But you already took a number." The embarrassment of being caught in a lie made me want to crawl into a hole. I squeezed my eyes shut and crumpled the ticket in my hand. I gave an awkward laugh. "Hey, it's fine. Liam's here, too. Did you two have a fight or something? He's been in a pretty bad mood lately. This is a good chance for you two to talk it out," he whispered to me. Hearing that, I thought to myself, what kind of relationship do we have to even get in a fight? In the end, I couldn't refuse and went inside with him. I used to go to all of Liam's basketball games and debate competitions, so I knew all his roommates. When they saw me walk in, the guy sitting next to Liam immediately stood up. "Here, Lucy, you can sit here." "Thanks," I said softly. As soon as I sat down, Liam got up and walked away. The three of them immediately turned to me with gossipy looks. "Lucy, did you and Liam have a fight?" I didn't understand why they all thought we'd been fighting. "We didn't have a fight," I answered. One of them, a guy with bleached hair, looked puzzled. "No fight? Then what's with his mood lately?" A moment later, Liam returned with the sauce he'd mixed and silently placed it next to me. I kept my head down. "Thanks." After we finished eating, the other three made up an excuse about needing to go shopping and told Liam to walk me back. The air was cold, and the streetlights stretched our shadows long behind us. I turned to him and asked, "Your roommate said you've been unhappy lately. Why?" He pulled the zipper of his jacket up to his lips, his reply muffled. "I haven't." My hand, tucked in my pocket, clenched. I stared down at my shoes. We walked the rest of the way in silence. When we reached my dorm, I stepped in front of him and looked up. "I'm heading in." "Okay." He glanced at me, then quickly looked away. Seeing he really had nothing else to say, I turned to leave. "Lucy," he called out. I whipped back around eagerly. He pulled 2 gift bags from his backpack and held them out to me. The colorful bags swayed in the wind. I suppressed a smile and asked, "Are these for me?" "Yeah." "When did you buy them?" I took them and opened one right there. It was a pair of delicate earrings with beautiful silver butterflies. His voice was a little hoarse. When I was in Bayside, a friend was buying a gift for his girlfriend. I originally wanted to bring you back a local snack, but you weren't in your dorm that day, and it went bad. What about this one? I took off the earrings I was wearing and put the new ones on. He instinctively held out his hand to catch the ones I took off. His palm was slightly red, and I could see tiny beads of sweat. I looked down, a smile in my eyes, and gently placed the old earrings in his hand. My middle finger accidentally brushed against his palm, and his hand trembled. After I put them on, I tucked my hair behind my ear. How do they look? There weren't many lights outside the dorm, and we were standing in a dim spot. But I could still see him blush. His gaze darted away, not daring to meet mine. He just nodded, his voice low. Yeah, they look good. You still haven't answered my other question. By now, people were trickling back from outside, including couples being all lovey-dovey by the dorm entrance. Normally, a guy wouldn't give a girl jewelry unless he was pursuing her, or she was his girlfriend or family. After a moment, Liam turned his head away, avoiding the question. If there's nothing else, I'm going to head back. Before he could turn, my phone rang from inside my bag. I glanced at it. It was Chase. Hello. I put it on speaker. Chase's playful voice came through. Tomorrow's Sunday. I remember you're a dancer. I've got 2 tickets to a dance performance. Would the lovely lady care to join me? I didn't answer, just looked at the man whose face was half buried in his windbreaker. Just as I was about to refuse, Liam reached over and ended the call. Realizing what he'd just done, his fingers recoiled slightly. He spoke, his tone unnatural. Don't go. I looked straight at him. Why? What are we to each other? Who I go out with is none of your business. My hand clenched into a fist. When he fell silent again, I defiantly unlocked my phone to call Chase back. He stepped forward, snatched the phone out of my hand, and pulled me into his arms. His voice rumbled above my head. Don't go, please. My head was buried in his chest. I couldn't tell if the heart pounding was mine or his. Then, I heard him say, it would bother me. My heart felt like it was going to burst. I wrapped my arms around his waist, feeling the warmth of his body and the way his back instantly tensed up. I wasn't wearing any makeup, so I mischievously nuzzled against his chest. Heh. Finally couldn't hold back anymore, huh? I looked up from his embrace, a smirk on my lips. So, you like me? His breath hitched, and something swirled in his dark eyes. Finally, the hand on my waist loosened, then tightened again. Yeah. I pouted. Your zipper is too high. I can't hear you clearly. He reached up, pulled the zipper down, and leaned in close, his voice full of affection. Lucy, I like you. I like you a lot. We were so close I could feel his warm breath on my face. My cheeks flushed. I quickly pecked him on the cheek and whispered, me too. Then I spun around and ran into the dorm. Later that night, after I showered and got into bed, what happened downstairs felt like a dream. I bit my fingers, trying to remember if I'd actually kissed him. My mind had gone completely blank, like my brain was being roasted over a fire. I think I kissed him. Whatever. I definitely kissed him. After Liam and I got together, I realized he was acting weird. He was acting like the other man. When we went out to eat and I wanted to take a picture, he would immediately stand up so he wouldn't be in the shot. When we went to the movies, he'd switch the hand with a small mole on it so he could use the other one for the photo. But after I happily scrolled through the pictures, trying to decide which one to post, he'd walk over, mentally prepared, and say, maybe let's not post it. It's a little blatant. Huh? It was New Year's Eve, and Northwood was packed. We were sitting on a bench outside. His comments seemed totally random, but then I remembered Stacy was on my friends list. He was probably worried she'd tell Kyle. Sigh. I guess this was the mess I made. I'd have to be patient. I closed the app, disappointed. Okay. His hand slowly enveloped mine, and he whispered comfortingly, when I go home for the break, I'll tell Kyle. I'll tell him I'm the one who likes you, and I'm the one who asked you out. I looked up at him and nodded softly. Okay. When we got back to campus, we walked through the main gate. Kyle was standing there, almost a snowman from all the falling snow. His red, tear-filled eyes locked onto our clasped hands. He looked from me to Liam, his voice trembling. You two are together? Liam's expression shifted when he saw Kyle. He stepped in front of me, took a deep breath, and turned to me. Lucy, you head back first. I need to talk to him. Kyle was wearing a black puffer jacket, his hair dusted with snow. He looked at me with an expression of pure helplessness and heartbreak. Okay, well, you. I looked into Liam's eyes, but the words "don't you dare break up with me because of him" wouldn't come out. Kyle was his brother. I took my bag from Liam and walked straight back to campus. I don't know what Liam said to Kyle, but that afternoon, Kyle called me from a new number. I'm downstairs from your dorm. Can we meet? Just for a minute? His voice was calm. I'm heading back to Bayside soon. I thought for a moment. I'll be right down. When I got there, Kyle was sitting in the gazebo, looking up at the falling snow. Kyle. I walked over and called his name. He snapped out of his trance and stood up. He looked down at me for a long time, then pulled a bag from behind his back. Inside was a knitted hat. I knitted this for you. I didn't take it. Thank you, but I can't accept it. His grip on the bag tightened. If I had come to Northwood with you back then, would you have still broken up with me? Yes. He gave a bitter smile. Do you like my brother that much? It's not because of that, I said, shaking my head. We only got together because we both had ulterior motives. We never should have been together in the first place. The trees on campus were covered in white, a vast expanse of snow stretching into the distance. Kyle's breath caught at my words. After a long pause, he stepped forward and placed the bag in my hand. He forced a smile. Just take it. Think of it as a thank you for all those stuffed animals you gave me. Besides, it took me a long time to make this. I've been thinking about it for a while, and I still want to ask, why do you like my brother? What does he have that I don't? As he asked, he lowered his gaze, his eyes red-rimmed. You don't need to compare yourself to Liam, just like I don't compare myself to Stacy. He smiled faintly. I get it. If there's nothing else, I'm going to head back. Travel safe. With that, I turned and walked into the snow. Lucy, Kyle called out. When I turned back, his Adam's apple bobbed. The emotions swirling in his eyes finally condensed into a single sentence. I wish you a Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Liam took Kyle to the airport. Kyle looked at this brother, who was only a few minutes older than him, and smiled. Bro, I'm heading out. You were the one she wanted to get close to all along, the one she liked. And I was just trying to get closer to Stacy. Don't feel guilty about it. Okay. Text me when you land. Will do. On the flight back to Bayside, Kyle stared out the window. What were the words he had held back? I like you. That scorching summer, Lucy had played The Wind Rises for him on her cello. A hot breeze blew in through the window, lifting strands of her hair as she listened to the song on the radio. I'll play it for you. In that practice room, the deep notes of the cello intertwined with the song from the radio. Summer always seemed to be tied to the stirrings of young love. She was in her blue and white school uniform, bathed in the golden afternoon light. The curtains billowed in the wind, and he just sat there, mesmerized, watching her. He had already seen her picture in Liam's room, a photo of her in a formal dress, standing on a stage accepting an award. He knew Liam's secret. But his own feelings were slow to surface. When he got to Bayside and couldn't see Lucy anymore, he thought about her constantly. What was she doing? Was she mad that he hadn't gone to Northwood with her? But why hadn't she texted him? He and Stacy ended up in the same department, but the spark he'd felt when he first met her was gone. It was as if that initial crush had slowly transformed during his 2 years with Lucy in high school. If Stacy hadn't posted that photo online, he never would have known that Lucy liked Liam. She had hidden her feelings so well, yet not well at all. Maybe every time she came to find him, he wasn't the one she was really looking for. It wasn't until I moved in with Liam after college that I understood why he had been so strange when we first started dating. I looked at his journal, amused. This journal was a testament to his moral anguish. November 5, 2022. I became the other man. November 10, 2022. I came between my brother and Lucy. November 20, 2022. I'm so sorry, Kyle. But I'm about to lose my mind. Another guy started showing up around her, and I was terrified that after she broke up with you, she'd get with him. I didn't want this to happen, but I can't stand seeing her with anyone else. I'm so sorry, Kyle. That time I went to Bayside, Stacy said they were having problems. I'm sorry, Kyle. I really tried to control myself and stay away from her. Your big brother let you down. That evening, when Liam got home, I left the journal on the dinner table. The smile on his face froze. I held back a laugh. You've got quite the conscience, don't you, Mr. Otherman? Liam stood behind me, hands on his hips, covering his eyes with a pained smile. Ah, he wrapped his arms around me from behind. Don't say it, please don't say it. After his company went public, Liam, as a young entrepreneur, gave an interview. Mr. Evans, you're so young and successful, and you're a hot topic online. There's a lot of speculation about your relationship with a certain celebrity. What are your thoughts on that? Coincidentally, a commercial featuring Lucy was playing on a screen in the interview room. Liam smiled and pointed at it. Are you all talking about this award-winning actress? The host was taken aback for a second, then looked where Liam was pointing. Yes. Liam's eyes softened with a hint of a smile for the camera. I'm a fan of hers, too. I have been for a long time. The host quickly followed up, so you've been following her since she started her career? Liam raised his right hand to his lips, revealing the wedding band on his ring finger, and gave a light cough. Yeah, you could say that. Liam had first seen Lucy in middle school. She was coming out of her after-school cello class, sitting on a bench and crying. A few college girls rushed over to ask her what was wrong. She sobbed that she was hungry. It turned out she had spent all her allowance on stuffed animals and had been starving through her classes all day. She was too scared to call her parents. The college girls quickly bought her some food. At 13, Lucy was adorable, with chubby cheeks. The girls couldn't help but pat her face while she ate. Once she was full, she smiled and hugged them, giving them one of her new toys as a thank you before rushing off to her dance class. When they started high school, he saw her again. The baby fat on her face was gone. Her math teacher was also his homeroom teacher, and he once saw her abysmal math grades. It reminded him of the day he'd run back to get his homework and seen her standing below the academic ranking board, muttering to herself, "You have so many points. Spare me a few, and maybe I'll be ranked right below you next time." He didn't know who she was talking about. After that, his eyes always searched for her in the sea of blue and white uniforms. But he never could have imagined that the reason he'd finally get to talk to her was because she was his little brother's girlfriend. Kyle loved to ride his scooter all over town after school. One day, on impulse, Liam called Lucy. "Hello?" Her gentle voice came through the phone. Liam snapped back to reality. "Hi, I'm Liam Evans. Is Kyle with you?" "No, why?" "He didn't come home after school, so I was just checking." "Sorry to bother you." "It's no problem. I can help you look for him." He admitted to himself that his motives were impure. From then on, he always used that as an excuse to see Lucy. It seemed to be the only connection he had to her. That was the first time he had ever been jealous of Kyle. And it was why he was so furious when he found out that Kyle liked Stacy and was only dating Lucy to get closer to her. It was the first time he'd ever lost his temper with Kyle. Are you an idiot? You like Stacy, so why are you messing with Lucy? Kyle didn't see anything wrong with it. Bro, why are you so mad? You're going to go tell her the truth and break up with her. And you're not to bother her again. Kyle just shrugged, clearly not planning to do any of it. Liam was so angry he clenched his fists, and seeing his brother's attitude, he threw a punch. Kyle fell to the ground, touching his bleeding lip, and looked at Liam in disbelief. Bro, you hit me? In college, after Liam came back from Bayside, he tried to stay away from Lucy. But then another guy started hanging around her. He stood there watching them, a strange jealousy filling his chest. He couldn't take it anymore. When he went home for the break, he was going to tell Kyle everything. He didn't use social media much, so he didn't see the viral photo until after they were married. He had always thought Kyle's words at the airport were just to make him feel less guilty. Because Lucy had told him she only agreed to date him in college because he was so nice to her. Lucy finished her skincare routine and climbed into bed. Liam pinned her down, nibbling her lip. Liar. She smiled slyly. Who's been hiding things longer? He laughed and kissed her. You.